Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader at TradeView Markets. It is, what is this, May 20th, and it's option, it's OPEX. And, it's what we've been, I don't know, say waiting for a week. It's what we've been talking about all week. I mean, look at this. We have the TradeView Market site. I digress, by the way. You know what? I'm going to sign in just like everybody else. I'll submit my preferences, and then I go to the TradeGATEHub, and then I log in. My password saved, and I say, good morning, how do you do? We're getting credible. VIX is under 30. I'm going to get to all those questions in a second, Gerard, and that's a problem because I'm jumping ahead here as the ES on a Friday, as a late Friday morning approaches 38.70. We thought the strike price for OPEX would be 4,000. I'm going to get this a bunch of screens here. So if I look, that's what I'm looking at. And I will get to the screens in a second, but I don't want to, it's like a teacher. I don't want you to have all these quotes up and everything going on when you're not really taking in what I'm saying. So it's just a method that I was taught and that I'm going to use as well. Okay. So a lot of damage has been done this week. The levels have been at least most consistent. I didn't listen to Coach's 9:30 Eastern video. It's what I'm going to do right after I finish. But, this is what's going on here. And I was doing not a lot of thinking. I always think, and this is what I do. It's past, let's look, you know what I mean? This was a week where there was more damage than there ever has been done. As a matter of fact, if you go through the TradeGATEHub and press on that red button, which I'll get to it again, which is all our videos that we do, we're putting out to it. They were putting out 10, 12 a week. And we've been on here for some time, some great content. And definitely I'm going to go back and read and watch coaches. So let me put on our charts for a second. And you know what? I'm going a little bit out of context, and I will apologize because I always, I always preached about consistency, but I can't escape it. And this is the chart right here. Now, this is the chart of Walmart, which, getting back to TGH again, posted its biggest decline since what it was. I mean, the numbers that I think 87, I think it's specifically the crash. So you have a 40-year sample size of time frame looking at Walmart right there. Okay, you have 9/11. You have obviously the crash, three pullbacks or crashes pulled in if you want. One is being now. Then you have 2018, which was difficult, and you could probably let's go to a weekly. Here's 2020, COVID. 2018, and we'll even go back to a monthly. And this is a good point. Okay, Walmart. This was not like one of these cloud stocks or stocks that you hear us buy or buying, or one of these guys. Look at the futures now, Asan or anything, or apps or TTD. This is Walmart, and what Walmart does is this is not just a one-time thing where Walmart said, all right, things are doing bad. We're getting hurt by high gas prices or lack of freight or lack of employees or even whatever. This is the Walmart, this chart on Walmart, and that was even edified the next day by Target. And the rest of them are not shying off. Home Depot, you're looking at Lowe's, but going back to even more, I mean, the homes are still holding up somewhat because it really hasn't caught up yet. Home prices when people shop on a Friday afternoon, or, they tally these things. And what it's saying is, this is not just let's write it off, let's regroup. And this is something happening in Walmart here says a lot more than what's, than a little bit of a pullback in the market. This is what Walmart said is things aren't bad now. They're going to be bad for a while, or else it wouldn't have acted this way. When people would have says, okay, it's a one-time thing. I get it. Walmart's a behemoth. I'll buy it here. I'll sock it away. That's not what's happening. It's not what's happening at Target. And I can't, his Target going to the weekly 200 day, by the way, want to sock some away. To no surprise, it's at the 150 option expiration strike price. It's probably where it's levered to. And no surprise on OPEX. Where's Walmart, by the way? Walmart's major economic tell, right? But it is. And his Walmart probably sticking to the 120 for a moment. I had some very good trades. I had some very bad trades. And you know what? I broke a rule. I took off some winners to sell a loser, but worked them to hold it. It worked. It works in both ways sometimes. You never know. If I knew it, I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, And you know what? A pullback like this in Apple, I understand it's a little bit different. Even Apple's breaking. Apple, by the way, is breaking a closing low of all week. So now Apple maybe 135, and Apple could go to 130 the way things are going. My point being is that all I've been saying that I have more trepidation putting long-term money to work than this day. Aside from Gerard making a great point about the VIX, I don't know how the VIX. See, this is where I run into problems. I'm going to just be personal. When the VIX is only 29, and I'm down in positions or even up in some position, that's the problem for me, because when the VIX is low, the market usually does. The market usually it trends very much. A high VIX means uncertainty, but I am shocked with stocks with Apple. I mean, I'm not the one. I don't like putting like I could put the VIX chart over Apple, or I could put my daily chart over the. I don't do that. Excuse my thinking. I know where all the charts are anyway, but let's look at this. Let's look at the VIX, for example. When the VIX was at 39, and that was what 120. Let's look at Apple, for example. Where was the VIX at 120, or Apple 120? I mean, it should be the opposite. So, there's not much fear here. People are still stuck. I posted, Rev Shark, I would say he's a friend of mine, if you will. We talk offhand. I'll even post something to the TradeGATEHub, and it's true. This is not a time where it's a trading environment. It's not time to take a stand. What did Rev say this morning? A good point as well, and I back it. And this is why we're pulling back, even though the bull and bear. Hold on, there are too many contrarians that think the sentiment can't get worse. And the one thing that I haven't been breaking a rule, and I'm not going to do it, is that sentiment can stay overbought and oversold longer. That I hate using the word, and people can say solvent, but now we're at the solvent part, not here, thank God. But in general. Another thing I wanted to point out that Rev made a good point. Bear with me. Everybody should win all this, by the way, unless you trade them primarily. Retailers are not like retailers are like the VIX now. They're almost like a gauge of the market. Walmart's not going to have this $10 V-shaped pop unless a major. We always say it, or at least I say it. What's going to save it, right? Listen, Coach, if we had, I'm going to address that issue. By the way, That's one of the. I made a point here. My point was being is that the VIX being this low, it's not a time. It's not a time to take a stand. There's not many outs. Oh, I was getting back to what the Rev said. By the way, give me a second. And I follow him on Twitter, and you should also be following on Twitter because he's an articulate guy. Kramer. Okay, hold on. The AMAC call. I get it. Surprise raw stores. We had actually got a good trade. We saved it. Lewis on LTM. Good call, Lewis, on that one. Well, you know what? I can't take too much. I just like with losses, I should cut my time and keep looking for it. But the bottom line, that was the plan. Coach, yeah, I believe. I was brought up on bids and asks. I was I read bids and asks. The time when I knew I had a change, when we had a trade view party a couple of years ago, we had an intern. He's a Wharton kid, smart dude, and he goes, what do you think about looking at the size, bid and ask? He says, I don't even look at that. That's irrelevant. That's where I knew I had to make a little bit of a change. Doesn't mean he was the judge and the jury. So listen, getting back to we were way overbought or oversold. Let me say this, but we're coming into that Friday weekend again. Every Friday we come into the same thing. We usually actually pop on a Friday. We sell off into a Monday. Monday opens down, and it's just then you try to dig a hole if you are taking positions over the weekend. But let me get back to ES because I'm jumping a little bit and there's a lot of going on. Here's the chart on ES and the plan. So I'm sorry if this is not one of the. Yeah, this is an issue now. All right, here we are on the futures. So it's the bottom line. We're coming into a Friday. OPEX didn't help. Maybe, you know what? They got smart yesterday a little bit. They kind of ran some things yesterday front running this OPEX, but here we are. A week. We're breaking weekly lows, and let's go to the SPX. You know what I mean? Now I start to feel bad. SPX index. Here we are on the SPX, breaking that 3860. Everybody, now the number, right, Coach? You probably, I'm sure you know, 3600. So here we're approaching 3855. This is only 4 days ago. We were 4100. Now, when we have this type of a pullback in 4 days from 4100 in the S, I'll give you an example. Let's look at the Qs. When you have a pullback, this is 3 days now, from 306 to 286, and this is here. I mean, I don't understand it. It's why it's even with the VIX being, listen, the VIX is still at 30. It's still a trading environment. When it's the 20s and the 15s, that's when I really complain. But it's not a time to take the stand. And this is why we do major economic tell VIX is under 30. Gerard, you're right. 38 to 15 on the no. And now listen, I'm not micromanaging these charts. The charts is way past this, past our levels now. This is beyond, like Coach and I said before earnings seasons, 3,600 is what I'm hearing the SPX hearing. But and these are beyond charts. On a Friday afternoon or late Friday morning, if the only thing that you're hoping on with the market at this level is a Ukraine resolution or a gamma squeeze, which is basically hoping on a short squeeze, one of the worst investment philosophies out there. I think, I don't see what's going to turn around in the next 4 hours going to a weekend. You still have Microsoft here. Here you go. If you flip that chart around, I'd be buying the stock on pullbacks. And so it's a short on rallies. How about the Big Daddy? All right, maybe needs 135. How about Tesla? The bounce. All right, here we go. New lows on Tesla. Somebody had a great trade, would put their ego aside and lost $10 at around 720. Nice job, by the way. Not to say you had an ego, but that was the right thing. Here's the Tesla weekly. I mean, you want to use that as a gauge? Fine. Let's look at Moss. I had a horrible cover. Look at my Moss cover on Moss today. I lost money in it. I got to look at my wife later today and tell her that I lost money on Moss short. Should be pissed. Covering Moss at 61.70. Come on. But I did sell Crocs at the high at 53, and now it's at 56, and now it's 53. I did sell Sentinel 1. Well, it's still where it was. What else did I have? AUPH. Down lower. How about Raw Stores? Buying it all morning for nothing. Actually, that's a big range, 70, and I sold it at 73. Not bad. All right, so what's going on now? Listen, it's breakdown. I mean, it's his Shopify. Is that making new lows? Not that it matters, but that's, they like to trade that. Let's look at Roblox. Let's look at Upstart. Elevator up, elevator down. This is a week on Upstart. Upstart as of 12 trading hours ago was 55. Now it's $13 lower, but it's a good trader. That's good for the active trader. What do we have now? Etsy, Home Depot doing nothing. Target, PayPal, how it was acting relative strength. Cisco, big deal, 1 day up bounce. Microsoft is only down 65 cents. But you know what? Why they did? Is that right? Oh, there was up more. A CF down 3. I called that out short. Moss breaking low. Oxy, CPE. The oils were up. Now they reversed. Nucor going down. Newmont. Lithium. You stink. What's another another one I came in? I came in short BJ Wholesalers. Remember I was chirping about this one? I came in short it. I covered like a piker at like 55. It went down to 52. Now I'm long it. And I am going to get out of it. We'll make money in it. But it's going to go back probably up to fit. But you know what I mean? It's just one of those issues. Dash, Bumble reversed, APPs showing strength, Ring, Raw Stores, Kohl's, 1 day wonder. Kohl's, for the active trader. Kohl's, 45 to 38 in 2 days, trading 20 million with good range. All right? So don't be a hero. PDD was positive. SE was acting good. Lithium stocks coming in. Any questions, guys? You know what? Let me go back to here. My opinion at this point really doesn't matter. It doesn't, because this is what matters. The wise guys. There's the option flow. And I could tell right as soon as I look at it if there's anything going on. Because if they go into stocks like Kellogg or they're buying, CF is down 4. Boy, that hurts. Fuck. Pissed off now. Okay. What's going on, wise guys? Listen, but you have to think that the fear and greed meter has got to be in the low single digits. SoFi bearish, Upstart bearish, Apple bearish, Disney bullish. All right. AAL, BHC, Microsoft. Let's get to more important things. This is flying. A lot of stuff's going on. Anti-VIX. Let's go to this. Put call ratios. This is not favorable. They're already wiped. I mean, people already covered their puts. They already covered their puts. And that's not gonna help in the market. You know, this gamma squeeze when they're still short puts. Now they're short stock. That's bad. They already covered. That's not going to help the market go up if you're looking for that. That's a problem. Monkeypox. That's the problem. There's the NASDAQ just cratering. We have to come up with a plan. Here's another one. 38.15. 38.15 in sight now. 38.90 failed. 38.15. Then below that, forget about it. Market's careening lower, all bids take. You know what? This is what also thing is. This is what the ref said. And by the way, I'm not giving hard trades. I'm actually talking to myself, forgetting that the mic is on. I'm actually thinking out loud. So I saw this morning that, where is it, the ref? Yeah, hold on a second. SPY puts, market timing, lots of folk liquidity issues this morning. There was nothing that I could go. I wouldn't have held stuff. I couldn't. How am I going to hit the bid on 20,000 of a $4 stock and drive it down to 20 cents? What else is going on? Any other questions? TradeGATEHub. All right, let's look at this. Let's look at Stock Scanner. Because this is what I'm looking at too. If I were to sign off, I'd be looking at this right now. Stock Scanner. Okay. Up high on relative volume. Okay. PANW, that's a cloud stock. Foot Locker, Dead Cat Pounds. Nothing I'm interested. XPEV. Okay, so that's a Chinese thing. A couple of Chinese stocks hanging in. AI, I sold that yesterday. Down on, this is the real important one. Down on high relative volume. Raw stores. You know what? There's not many. AMAT, that was a problem. I thought AMAT was positive at one point. I thought it was going to keep the market up. Upstart, I told you about that before. Breakout on a range. Actually, breakdown on the range. That's more important. Let's go by time. Even gives you by time. So AMAT, there you go. Broke down on a range. So we're at least right. Moss. NVIDIA breaking down on a range. AIG, NTAP, moving up now. So what's moving up? What's moving up as the futures are breaking low? Amgen, Redbox, not Starbucks, Zim. What's moving down now as the futures are going down? So what's going down with the market as we speak? MGM, XP, SE was holding up good. Now it's negative. No, it's up to. Wish, IQ, Reckitt, Amazon. Where's the Amazon chart? You want to read a hand? Look at LTHM, Amazon. Says it all. It's going to 2,000. I haven't even touched it. There's a bear flag. RSI is not even oversold. Where's the weekly? The Big Daddy broke. I don't even have an interest in it. I'm not even looking at it in the fund. I'm seriously not. That's not something I'm looking at. Google, on the other hand, is something I can look at because they control the world. Google. Weekly chart on Google. You know what? No, I don't. It's a rounded top. It's got a right, coach. Which stock's best to short? You know what? Which stock's the best to short? It's a good question. It's kind of a little late in the game, Gerard, and I can appreciate that. You know what? I would just maybe hedge. You know what? Because the market's so volatile, maybe piece yourself into an index. Short the IWM or short the TQQ or short the TNA. Let me go back to my screen here. You know what I mean? I'm not, I'm going to get back to you on that one because I'm not really in shorting one. Maybe I'm second guessing myself. I'm not going to short here, but I'll look at some ETFs for you, or certainly just like when the market goes down, everybody says that the NASDAQ or the S&P, the SPX is a good place to hide your money, like a fund. We'll throw it some days, in a fund or, in a fund or short the TNA, the IWM to offset things. Because, when your stocks, outperform, or when hopefully they do, then, you'll be hedged, so to speak. So I would go into an index or just, I wouldn't be shorting any specific stock down here. You're really at risk for rotation. They're rotating, stocks are rotating, they're rotating 10, Moss is down too. They're rotating 10% a day. You know what I mean, Gerard? So, if your stocks are going up as the market's going down, the market goes up. Piece and, short a fund or an index or short something. I'm going to get back to you on that. I'm kind of look at the chart on Moss. All right. Any other questions, guys? Which stock's best to short? I'll get back to you on that. Right now, listen, it's all up to the VIX. It's up to the TLT. It's up to SQQQ. At these levels, going into late, it's lunchtime. First of all, don't be doing much. Tesla. Every indication of these, Tesla's breaking down. Where's Walmart still down a penny? That's washed out. Google's still down $40. Shopify. Where's Citicorp and JP Morgan? All right, JP Morgan's in the down channel. Citicorp in the down channel. You know what I mean? I'm not doing anything. Coach's favorite thing is you can't make it all. You can't make it back on a Friday afternoon. But this is something where you could lose a lot more on a Friday. I don't see any edge. You want to take a stab here? You're going to be wrong before you're right. And I don't necessarily recommend it. Listen, it's a little early. They could rip it and could turn, but just buy the ones that you want. Look at my screen here. This is still green. Tim would say, why aren't you buying SE right here? I understand. Why aren't you buying FUTU, or why aren't you buying APP acting strong, or Foot Locker still positive on the day? BJ is not positive. You know what I mean? But it looks like a rally of stocks. The market is there's even more fear now, but it's a short rally right now until proven differently. Like I said, the put call ratio is more importantly, which is not why I'm glued to the computer waiting for this squeeze, is because they already covered a lot of their puts, evidenced by the put call, right, Coach? So I'll do my more diligence. I'll do a couple more hours of work. I'll get back to you on this. I know it's important, but there's nothing going on right now. The VIX is 30, yes. Roblox, Microsoft and Apple are only down 50 cents. Boeing. But what I'm saying is, listen, I don't see what looks so good about Boeing. Listen, and you could be saying, I don't know what looks so good about that, but Boeing's on, listen, I'm not going to talk anybody out of buying Boeing at $120. You want to put it as a piece of your portfolio? A stock is not really where it's been, it's where it's going. So it doesn't matter if it was 300 at this point, it is 120. But, much like a 20-to-1 long shot horse, I'm not really going to talk you out of a quality here, but maybe it goes to 120, but prepared it goes to 110. Boeing, Boeing's not showing any flight to safety. BJ, you fucking bastard. LTM. Okay. LI still positive. Docking positive. Facebook's positive. Buy Facebook, it's positive. So we bounced off that 38.50. We just bounced 20 handles. So we did, listen, if we go back above that previous low of 38, what was it, Coach? Right, that previous, the previous low of 38.74, then they shook everybody out to the low. And if you establish a new base at that 38.70 and then go above the gap at 30, follow the levels. But right now we broke that previous level on the S&P. Okay. This was the old, freaking lines out here. This was the old level that we broke. So there was a little short covering at 38.60. Now, if we stay above here and, and rest and then get above maybe, 3,900 again, that might be time. But, once again, keep it in mind, it's a Friday. I don't know what's going to go on. A lot of things are still washed out. go buy best of breed and stick with the green stocks. That, don't. This is not a time to be a hero or stick outside what you usually, go outside your norm. That's a pretty good plan, I think. Stick to that 3,800 level. They bounced a little bit. That looks like a short covering rally. Don't you? You know what I mean? So stick to that number. Let me go back to what my boy says. More funds liquidating position is the field once again. He's right. Heavy floor first action volume flow. Friday can trigger panics. Yeah, hold on. This is what I'm looking at on my Twitter feed. And again, I only follow 20 people, 50 people. So it's not like I'm scrambling. I'm the guy that makes the decisions. You know what I mean? But he's right. And this guy see the light trading, sharp guy, one of the sharpest guys out there, more funds liquidating. And my other guy, Friday can trigger panics. And obviously, this is the intent now. The trigger. Oh, he's right. Traffic over 3,900. You got to get back over 3,900. And they're triggering a panic now. And the VIX is only 30. So I don't know who they are, but hold to that 3,870 on the chart. Then hold to that 3,900. And that's it. Play tactically. Until then, do what you got to do. Do a laundry. I don't know. Just it's 11:30 and I'm not doing much. So I'll leave it to then. Any other questions, guys? We need more participation than ever in the room. And by the way, if you're stuck on what to do, just go to the stock page. 3,870. Okay, guys. So cheers. Have a good weekend. I'll answer all questions when I get back. And I hope we were helpful. Have a good day.